Shab fled an Iran that was high on the Islamic Revolution when she was barely 8 years old. She sought a normal life of freedom. Instead, she found success as a global star. How does a child sense that their country is unsafe? For Iranian-born Shabnam Kamoui, 44, known as Shab, the first signs were at school. It felt like 90% of the teachers there were out to get you, she told Express.co.uk. They were just there to hurt you. I got beaten so many times. And I didn't even do anything. Life was so miserable, and they picked on you for that reason. Shab was speaking from Dallas, Texas, her now permanent home where she lives with her husband and 2 children. From the other side of the screen, her hair ran wild and thick like a lion's mane, and her eyes flashed as she remembered the past. Sometimes, they teared up. It is no surprise. Shab's life hasn't been as smooth sailing as many of her fellow musicians. Shab was born into a Tehran going through a radical transition. Gone were the days of secular freedom. It was shortly after 1979's Islamic Revolution, and a new religious order was being imposed. Everyone was required to follow. The consequences of not doing so often balancing on the fine line that is life and death. The country before this wasn't a paradise. The Shah's secret place made life hell for millions. But soon, after the uprising, things became worse, and slowly. Surely, glass walls replaced Iran's borders. Everyone became trapped. Today, things have only got worse. Iran regularly makes headlines for human rights abuses. Recent coverage has intensified after thousands of women and girls took to the streets to protest their treatment following the death of Mahsa Amini in September 2022. The 22-year-old was arrested by the state's morality police and, after eyewitnesses claimed she was beaten in custody, died 3 days later. Her crime? Wearing a hijab improperly. 40 years ago, Shab and her family sensed this was coming. Pro-state forces had already targeted her family, burning her father's place of work to the ground. A successful petroleum executive, he would die in his early 50s from a heart attack. The family believe it was induced by the stress of the persecution. I lost him before I ever got to meet him, said Shab.